Now up is William Bill Taylor, author of On Full On Automatic. The book details his 13 months journey in Vietnam.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say thank you for being here. This is an incredible crowd, and we're all here to honor the sacrifices of these heroes that are not with us today, who gave all of their tomorrows so that we do have today. And I would like to ask, how many people have been in the service? Quite a few, quite a few. And out of the group here, how many actually know somebody that has died or been a member of their family in any of the wars? Wow, quite a few. The reason why I say that is it means so much to me. I have a little confession. My confession is this is the first memorial parade for me. It's taken me a long time. As you well know, what veterans go through. And that's why I think I'm a perfect person to be able to talk with everybody today. And what I did is, as a writer and as an author, I sat down and started to write this piece, and I was very happy with it. And I was watching one of the ceremonies on TV, and people were reading from their scripts, and I thought to myself, what I want to do is I want to make this really personal. I want to make it for the men in my company that died. I thought writing the book would help me get through all the sadness, but it's still there. First of all, I'd like to mention that I joined the Marines in 1966 and ended up in Okinawa in February 1967. And we were training as a Special Landing Force Alpha, which was the newest weapon to defeat the North Vietnamese and the Viet Cong. And we were a battalion of Marines that was stationed on the USS Okinawa. We were trained for 2 months, and then we went in on our first operation. That first operation was unbelievable. It was nothing like we practiced for. We were stopping the North Vietnamese from coming into the Quay Son Valley because they wanted to get their food. And we wanted to stop them. They had total control of the Quay Son Valley. The Viet Cong were extremely strong in that area. So what headquarters did, they brought a battalion of Marines in this way along the mountain ridges. They brought another one this way, and they landed us in the valley. And then that's when the battles started to happen. I want to mention the first guy that I remember that was killed, and from our platoon, and his name is David Hart. And David Hart was just had turned 21 on May 9th, and he died on May 10th. I still talk with his wife, and she still mourns his passing. And that's just one of that was the first battle that we were in. We ended up on search and destroy missions for 2 more months and went back to the USS Okinawa to regroup. And then we heard right away they were taking us right to the DMZ, that a battalion of Marines, 2 companies, Alpha and Bravo of 1-9, was completely wiped out. And there was 84 dead and 190 wounded on that particular Operation Buffalo. And that was July 2nd, 1967. On Buffalo, we came in as the Special Landing Force, and 2 other battalions came in. And of course, I remember that particular operation because my platoon sergeant, Sergeant John J. Malloy, he was just the greatest platoon sergeant in the world. We had to assault a tree line, and I thought it was like the Civil War days when, you all stood up and you all attacked a tree, into a tree line or something. And I remember as a 18, 19-year-old kid thinking, this is kind of crazy. They had bombed that tree line over and over, but what we didn't know is that the NBA had built new bunkers, and they were all under in bunkers. And when we started to attack the tree line, they decimated the entire platoon and several other platoons that were there. My sergeant, Sergeant John J. Malloy, and the squad leader were immediately killed. We also had a lot of injuries. There was, as I understand it, there were 1,200 Marines that were killed on Operation Buffalo. And it's, when you think about the Vietnam War, you don't think it's, it was a police action maybe, or, there was some battles going on, but we were in constant combat. Then in August was Operation Cochise, and my platoon was set to attack a tree line. And the tree line opened up on us, and the other squads came to help us. And what ended up happening is there was only 7 of us left out of that entire platoon. Not everybody died, but 64 Marines died on that operation. Then came in October, Operation Medina. There's even a book out called Lions of Medina, and that was 1st Battalion, 1st Marines, that guy from there that wrote that book. And that book was really a very good book. They were the ones sweeping towards us, and we were the blocking force. They had swept through the highland forest. They were getting hit, and the North Vietnamese fled the forest, and they ended up coming into us and then overrunning us. The entire left side of our lines was completely demolished. Dan Varner was there. I was talking to him the night before, and he had just told me that, he said, I'm so proud that, I'm a daddy. I just found out. And I said, yeah. I said, Dan, don't worry, you'll make it out of here. And he says, I don't know if I'm going to. Well, he died that night, along with Corporal Penny, that was right next to, the hole next to me. And of course, we lost 15 guys on that operation. And the executive officer was killed, and the commanding officer was wounded. Every single officer but one was wounded and taken out of the field. And then we end up in a place called C4, right along the ocean. And I remember talking we just got a brand new squad leader, and the squad leader his name was Smitty. And Smitty, Marvin Smith. And Marvin Smith was the greatest guy you can't even believe. We ended up going into the DMZ, and he got shot in the throat, and he died. And that was really, jets came in to napalm the North Vietnamese, and they overshot and wiped out a platoon of machine guns with us on that. And then January 19th, we were completely surrounded with over 200 NBA, and the battle ensued. My best friend, Bill Burgoon, was killed, and Joe Benedict, which was right next to him. The platoon had got completely wiped out again. And I ended up getting my 3rd Purple Heart, and I was gone because in the Marines in Vietnam, you had 3 Purple Hearts, they sent you home. So I didn't serve my whole 13 months. I served 12 months and 10 days. So what I want to say is, I'm glad that I'm bringing this out and letting everybody know their names, and letting you know that I still keep in touch with the families, and that it means very much to me. But there's another thing that it's really important that I think everybody should know, is right now we have Gulf War vets, and just like in the Vietnam War, there was a lot of suicide going on. And in Vietnam, when they came home, we were losing about 20 a day. And I'm hearing that the Gulf War vets, they're committing suicide up to 22 a day. That's the average right now. So I think they should be part of our honoring them as also, because they came home wounded and wounded in the heart. And I understand that. And I just want to thank everybody. I didn't want to give you one of those long speeches, but I just wanted to come from the heart. And thank you, and God bless America.